everybody, this is Shayna Hiller from Build Your Personal Yoga Business, and today I'd like to talk about how to weave more spirituality into a classical power flow yoga class. This is actually a question I got from one of you guys, and before I start, I'd like to just honor my magical background. I'm actually here in Costa Rica. I literally just finished running my annual yoga retreat today, and I felt just so activated and inspired and energized by Mother Nature that I wanted to come on here and share this very important response, this very important insight with you of how can I maintain some sort of wisdom, some sort of philosophical teaching, some sort of spiritual nuggets in a power vinyasa flow class, whether it's an hour-long class, an hour and 15, an hour and a half, 45 minutes, because that exists, whatever it may be. Guess what? There is a way. And I really, really acknowledge you who have asked me, and it's been more than just one person, who sometimes feels like, okay, like maybe I'm really good at teaching asana, but sometimes at the sake of timing or wanting to get everything in or wanting to give students a well-rounded practice and a strong workout, we can easily forego the more spiritual stuff because of timing or whatever it may be, right? Not even knowing how to weave it in. So if you look in some of the previous videos on this channel, you will find a video about dharma talks. A dharma talk is a short talk that you can give in the beginning of your practice, and this, or in the beginning of the class that you teach. This can be about anything. It can be about an experience in your own life. You can teach on some of the yogic principles, the yamas, the niyamas, the yogic sutras, something that feels very inspiring to you. So I would actually take some time to think of things in your own life, your own meditation practice, rituals that you have, yogic teachings that you can apply to the physical practice, whether it's stilling the mind, breathing evenly, right? You can talk even when you're teaching the breath in a vinyasa power class about how evening out your inhales and exhales evens out your mind. And even something as simple as that brings people back to, oh yeah, this is also about leaving stress behind. This is also about reducing anxiety and tension. This is also about creating inner peace. So something as simple as a 3-minute talk, and you have to be mindful about the amount of time so you don't take away from the physical practice, but something that really sets the tone for the practice. Now, that's not all, because it's one thing to say something inspirational in the beginning of the class, and then all of a sudden it's like, chaturanga, 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 shavasana, bye-bye, right? You got to weave it in somehow. So what I say is, first and foremost, leave time for stillness. When people are in down dog, leave time for stillness. If you just taught a more challenging sequence or a few sun salutations and people seem to be breathing more deeply or sweating, leave them in child's pose. And when they're in child's pose, take a moment to call them back to their intention. That's another thing, creating an intention in the beginning of the practice. Make sure that you make sure that you are making sure that you're bringing people's attention back to their intention. It can be very simple. What was your intention in being here? And is the current experience that you're having, right, to your students, aligned with that intention? Do you feel centered? Do you feel connected? How's your breath and how's your brain? Sometimes I simply ask, how's your brain? So applying a dharma talk in the beginning of the practice and learning how to weave it in, leaving time for stillness and silence for people to have their own experience, and really teaching the breath. Some yoga teachers just don't teach the breath. Teaching the breath is a way for your students to really drop into a deeper meditative state without even having to, hear anything intellectual or inspirational. So just making sure that you concentrate on the breath and you don't get overly physical or fitnessy is another way to bring it in. And if nothing else, also at the end, after Shavasana, when people are sitting, sometimes I'll just share that little nugget of a gentle reminder that this practice of yoga, all the physical stuff we do, all the movement, all the intensity, all the strength, is simply preparation to sit. It's preparation to feel strong and spacious in our bodies, to feel present yet surrendered, so that we're less distracted by our external environment, we're less distracted by the churnings and the fluctuations of our own mind, and we can sit in the present moment. So you've got the tools. You are the teachers. You are the leaders. Trust what you know, because when I think back, I used to be very intimidated to share spirituality in my power classes, but now I will never teach a class without a Dharma talk, without weaving in wisdom, because if that's not there, it's literally just an exercise class, in my opinion. That's my truth, and that's the way that I teach. And I absolutely do not take away from the intensity, from the challenge aspect of the class. I teach a very physically challenging, vigorous vinyasa that is filled with dharma and filled with spirituality and filled with wisdom. So trust what you know. Trust that thing that keeps you coming back to yoga, because I have a sneaking suspicion it's more than just the physical. Otherwise, you could just go to the gym. There's something else that you get. Is it the breath? What was it that your first yoga teachers or some of your formative teachers in yoga afforded you with that keep you coming back, that keep you inspired? And have the courage and confidence to start weaving that into your classes. I hope that this information inspires you to really take charge of your teaching and start adding in the other elements of yoga that make yoga what it really is meant to be, so we can preserve these ancient teachings and empower and inspire other people to really continue on their path and their journey. This can change the world. If you have any questions or any other topics that you'd like me to cover, leave a comment below and I'll absolutely create a video on it. Sending love from the jungle. Oh, also, it's becoming the new year now, depending on when you watch this. It may not be the new year, but it's a beautiful time of year to create a new reset, especially if you are a yoga teacher and you've been teaching for a while and you're feeling stuck. Check the links below. I have some brand new offerings for you, a brand new free ebook to build a thriving yoga business. You will learn the 8 steps that I used to create a 6-figure yoga business that's not only about money, but about having space and time to serve from my heart and in a way bigger way than I ever thought was possible. You'll also find information about my upcoming events, teacher trainings, and other offerings. And again, subscribe if you haven't already. Check some previous videos, leave a comment. I love you all. I'm gonna go and frolic through the jungle now. Namaste.